This series features legendary battles between the strongest mages. Also, Mashle will be opposed by a member of the Lupus clan. Will the boy be able to use physical strength to suppress the magical power of one of Lord Abel's henchmen? Let's find out right now. Lance was standing across from Worth Medal, one of the most powerful mages who had wiped out more than a dozen students at the academy. The boy attempted to quickly deal with his rival by summoning a spell, but surprisingly, it didn't work on Worth. Immediately from behind, a slew of mage spears appeared and attacked Lance. He tried to use the gravity spell again, but it didn't work again. Apparently, his opponent had earth magic and easily turned into a mass of mud. In order to destroy the mud illusion, one must destroy the one who controlled it, which is Worth. But that proved to be not so easy to do. Despite the fact that Lance was clearly losing to his opponent, Lance even praised him. He appreciated his abilities and offered to join their clan. Worth was confident that a man depends on his surroundings. If you're in the company of trash, you'll start to stink. Therefore, in order to pump up his abilities, Lance needed to join a strong guild. The Lupus clan has only the most capable apprentices. They have the best training, which only improves their powers. Of course, Lance didn't agree to this offer. He called the Lupus mages second rate and directed the gravitational flow directly at his opponent. Worth was able to soften his fall and was confident in his defense. But then the cobblestones that had been left over from Lance's last hit flew through the mud from Lance's last blow. Ever since he was a child, Worth had thought of himself as a better mage because he was born with 2 markings. He was different. No one could surpass him in strength or magic. Since middle school, he was trained in this academy and got into the best clan. He can't lose to a second-rate mage like Lance. He believed he was stronger and better than him. In the Lupus clan, mages are rewarded for their strength and are given a special potion made from the essence of other mages. This is the potion Worth drank to increase his power, and indeed his magical power increased many times over. With the help of the spell, he transformed into a huge mud monster. All magic has levels. There are basic, personal, and an advanced state magic. But awakening magic is something different. Not even all mages with 2 marks can afford it. It is the ultimate mastery. From birth, the boy's father had instilled in him that it was magic that determined one's worth in this world. Only capable magicians have the sense to exist on this earth. Gathering all his rage, power, and strength, he lunged at Lance and delivered the first blow. In all these words, Lance heard an insult to his friends. No one would ever dare insult his kindred, especially in his presence. He easily dodged the earth monster's blow and was ready to fight with even more commitment. Gathering his thoughts, he recreated the power of awakening. This is the most supreme magic that students of the academy can be capable of. With the help of magical gravitational poles, he bound the monster's limbs with chains that stretched it to its limits and tore it into small pieces. That was it. No more of Worth's helper. Even though Worth had tried to please his father from an early age, trying to be strong, to be brave, and to keep his magical skills up to date, his father did not appreciate his son's abilities. He belittled and insulted him, telling him that he was not worthy to be his creation. This hurt the boy deeply and lodged a great black resentment in his heart. If you look so closely, Lance and Worth are actually very similar. They had parents with the same point of view. Both of them had parents who only valued status in society. It didn't matter to them what kind of person really was. What mattered was how they were perceived by others. But the boys did not agree with this point of view. At this time, there was a fight going on in the other room between the 2 contenders, Mashle and the man in the mask. Worthless mages, but the strongest men were fighting each other. Fists versus blade, which will be stronger. Despite Mashle's speed, the stranger was even faster. A couple of deft moves allowed him to inflict dozens of slashing wounds on the guy's body. The stranger was confident that he was invincible. There was some truth in what he said. Mashle didn't care about threats. The stranger grabbed Lemon, a prisoner. She was imprisoned in a special magical artifact that drew magical mana out of mages. A little longer and her magical powers would dry up. The mark disappear and she would be nothing. Mashle couldn't give up that easily. He was ready to fight to the end, for his friend and for his other friends, for his family and for his peaceful, quiet life. The stranger accepted his challenge and was ready to give his all too. This battle would be legendary. The stranger was getting too fast. He was once again inflicting many wounds on Mash. One more, and he was sure to lose. And then, in an instant, the sword blade of the masked man pierced Mash's belly. It was just a ruse by the lad. He grabbed the stranger's weapon with his muscles, thereby holding it close to him. After Mash's attack, Abyss's left eye turned red. It turned out to be the eye of the devil, capable of sealing magic. It was because of this ability that the boy became an outcast and an object of scorn from other mages. A huge number of people shunned Abyss and feared him. He wasn't even accepted, even by his own parents. But Mash couldn't understand how that felt because he grew up in a loving family. That made the boy a little jealous. Well, it's time to show all his abilities. Abyss summoned the magic of awakening. A huge glowing dome appeared over the guys, a kind of force field that you couldn't get out of. Mash wanted to take the guy's punch and hit him back, but his speed was no longer the same speed as before. It turns out that this field slows down everything within its confines and gives Mash's speed to Abyss. There's no chance for victory here. Victory will definitely go to the stranger. That's when Mash took all his strength, fist literally, and hit the ground. He broke the floor so as to limit the guy's maneuverability. Abyss wanted to pull back to assess the situation, but Mash wouldn't let him. He stopped him and punched him with his fist. This move knocked his opponent far into the wall, penetrating the magical field. With only his physical strength, Mash was able to defeat his opponent's magical moves. He defeated his opponent, but he too had enough reasons of his own not to be defeated and win. Well, even the strongest moves didn't work on the guy. He threw Abyss from side to side like a ball with different muscle groups. And then, he managed to put his opponent on his back with one last punch. Defeated, Abyss spoke out. As a kid, when he got that damn eye, his parents were shocked. Needless to say, the whole neighborhood wasn't thrilled about a kid like that. Because he was an affront to magic, they locked him up like a criminal. So he lived for many years until one night his own parents attempted to kill the child. That's when he realized that he shouldn't have been born into this world. After listening to the boy's story, Mash offered to be his friend. For his kindness, Abyss gave him a piece of advice. He better not go to Lord Abel. He's too powerful. Parting ways on a good note. Mash promised that his opinion of Abyss would never change his mind about Abyss. If he offered to be his friend, he would be his most faithful friend.